वेलकम बैक टू आवर चैनल। आज हम क्लास 9 साइंस के चैप्टर 7 के क्वेश्चन आंसर्स देखेंगे। तो चलिए बिना देरी किए वीडियो को शुरू करते हैं। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, कंप्लीट द फॉलोइंग टेबल। फर्स्ट कॉलम में है बायोजियोकेमिकल साइकिल, सेकंड कॉलम में है बायोटिक प्रोसेसेस, थर्ड कॉलम में है अबायोटिक प्रोसेसेस। फर्स्ट है कार्बन साइकिल, बायोटिक प्रोसेसेस, फोटोसिंथेसिस एंड रेस्पिरेशन, डिकम्पोजिशन बाय डिकम्पोजर, abiotic processes, combustion, absorption by water. Next है oxygen cycle, biotic processes, photosynthesis and respiration, decomposition by decomposer, abiotic processes, combustion, production of ozone and oxide. Next है nitrogen cycle, biotic processes, decomposition by decomposer, biological fixation, bacteria, ammonification, abiotic processes, industrial fixation, industries, physical fixation, nitrification, denitrification. Next question, correct and rewrite the following statement and justify your correction. First है carnivorous occupy the second trophic level in the food chain. Correction, carnivorous occupy the third trophic level. Autotrophic producer constitute the first trophic level. Herbivorous animal obtain their nutrients from them. They occupy second trophic level. Carnivorous animal feed upon this herbivorous animal, therefore they occupy the third trophic level in the food chain. Question, the flow of nutrients in an ecosystem is considered to be a one-way transport. Correction, the flow of nutrients in an ecosystem is considered to be cyclic. Green plants are producer by photosynthesis. They convert minerals and inorganic compounds into glucose. The food is transferred along with food chain from producer to primary consumer to secondary consumer. The decomposer of the ecosystem decompose all the dead and decaying organisms and return these nutrients back to the ecosystem. Thus, the flow of nutrients is cyclic and not one-way transport. Next question, plants in an ecosystem are called primary consumer. Correction, plants in an ecosystem are called producer, autotrophs. Plants are able to synthesize their own food by the process of photosynthesis. Therefore, plants in an ecosystem are called producer, autotrophs, whereas herbivores which depend on plants for food are known as primary consumer. थर्ड क्वेश्चन, गिव रीजन। फर्स्ट है एनर्जी फ्लो थ्रू एन इकोसिस्टम इज वन वे। इसका आंसर है सन इज द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी इन एनी इकोसिस्टम. In all ecosystem, producer green plants store the solar energy in the form of food. This energy is passed on from one trophic level to the other trophic level. Owing to decomposition, some part of this energy is released in the form of heat. However, no part of energy returned to the sun. Therefore, energy flow through an ecosystem is one way. Next question, equilibrium is necessary in the various biogeochemical cycle. Answer है in nature various biogeochemical cycle operate simultaneously and there is an equilibrium between them. During this cycle, the inorganic compounds that are released from organic compound are released back to nature. Soil, bacteria and other decomposer play a vital role in this cycle. If biogeochemical cycle are imbalanced, then they bring about the imbalance in the ecosystem, as a result of which the ecosystem is destroyed. This shows that equilibrium is necessary in the various biogeochemical cycle. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, फ्लो ऑफ न्यूट्रिएंट्स थ्रू एन इकोसिस्टम इज साइक्लिक. इसका आंसर है प्रोड्यूसर ऑब्टेन न्यूट्रिएंट्स फ्रॉम द सॉइल एंड CO2 फ्रॉम द एटमॉस्फेयर एंड synthesize food from them with the help of photosynthesis. During this process, the inorganic substances are converted into organic substances. Consumer consume the food produced by producer. The energy in the form of food is thus passed on from one trophic level to the other trophic level. Both producer and consumer after their death undergo decomposition, and after decomposition the nutrients released from them mix with the soil. In the same way, the excreta of animal undergo decomposition and release nutrients to the environment. Thus we see that the flow of nutrients in the ecosystem follows a cyclic path. Fourth question, explain the following cycle in your own words with suitable diagram. First है carbon cycle. The circulation and recycling of carbon from the atmosphere to living organism and after their death back to the atmosphere is called the carbon cycle. Important processes of carbon cycle through photosynthesis and respiration. Abiotic carbon atom are circulated and recycled into biotic form. By the process of photosynthesis, plant convert carbon dioxide into carbohydrates. Plant also produce other carbon compound like protein and fats. Herbivores are depend on plant for food and carnivores are depend on herbivores for their food. In this manner, biotic carbon is transported from plant to herbivores, from herbivores to carnivores, and from carnivores to apex consumer. Herbivorous, carnivorous, and apex consumer release carbon dioxide in air through respiration. Finally, dead organisms are decomposed by bacteria and fungi decomposer, and carbon dioxide is released again into the atmosphere and is used again by living organisms. Carbon dioxide is also released into atmosphere through abiotic processes such as burning of fossil fuel and wood, forest fire, volcanic activity. In this manner, carbon is continuously passed from one living organism to another. Next है nitrogen cycle, the circulation and recycling of nitrogen gas into the form of different compounds through various biotic and abiotic processes occurring in nature is called nitrogen cycle. Important processes of nitrogen cycle, nitrogen fixation. In this step, nitrogen is converted into nitrates and nitrates through atmospheric, industrial and biological processes. Ammonification, here ammonia is released through decomposition of dead bodies and excretory waste of organism. Nitrification, in nitrification ammonia is converted into nitric and then nitrate. Denitrification, it involves conversion of nitrogen compound into gaseous nitrogen. Diagram of nitrogen cycle, nitrogen gas, nitrogen fixation, formation of nitrate and then nitride, ammonification, release of ammonia, nitrification, conversion of ammonia into nitrate and then nitride, denitrification, conversion of nitrogen compound in gaseous nitrogen, nitrogen gas. Next है oxygen cycle. Circulation and recycling of oxygen within the biosphere is called the oxygen cycle. Important processes of oxygen cycle. Oxygen cycle include both biotic and abiotic component. Oxygen is continuously produced and used up in the atmosphere. During photosynthesis, biotic process, plant use carbon dioxide and release oxygen in the atmosphere. Animal utilize this oxygen for respiration and release carbon dioxide. The released carbon dioxide is again used up by plant for photosynthesis. Oxygen is also utilized in various other processes such as combustion, decomposition, corrosion, rusting, etc. As oxygen is highly reactive, it readily reacts with other elements and compounds. Oxygen is found in various forms such as molecular oxygen O2, water H2O, carbon dioxide CO2, inorganic compound, etc. Oxygen cycle of the biosphere is extremely complex. Fifth question, what would you do to help maintain the equilibrium in the various biogeochemical cycle? Explain in brief. इसका आंसर है बायोजियोकेमिकल साइकिल involve the cyclic flow of nutrients within an ecosystem. Climate changes and various human activities such as deforestation, air pollution, release of harmful chemical substances into water bodies, etc. seriously affect the speed, intensity, and equilibrium of the biogeochemical cycle. To maintain the equilibrium in the various biogeochemical cycle, we must avoid release of harmful chemical substances in water bodies, minimize the use of private vehicles which would help us to reduce pollution. Plants also play a significant role in maintaining the equilibrium of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So we must do tree plantation on larger scale. We must avoid unnecessary deforestation for construction and various other purposes. Question: explain in detail the interrelationship between the food chain and the food web. इसका आंसर है a definite sequence in the interaction between producer, consumer and saprophytes is called food chain. Each food chain consists of 4, 5 or more links. For example, an insect feeds upon leaves of different plants, but at the same time this insect is a prey for various animals like frog, which is again a prey for snake. Snake is a prey for eagle or kite. In the similar ways, rabbit are prey for wildcat and jackals, which are again prey for lions. An ecosystem consists of many such food chains, which are interconnected at various levels, forming an intricate web instead of linear chain. This kind of intricate network is called a food web. Seventh question: state the different types of biogeochemical cycle and explain the importance of those cycle. इसका आंसर है there are two types of biogeochemical cycle: gaseous cycle and sedimentary cycle. Gaseous cycle: in this type of biogeochemical cycle, major reservoir of the abiotic gaseous nutrient exist in gaseous phase in Earth's atmosphere. Carbon, oxygen and nitrogen cycle, water vapor are examples of gaseous cycle. Sedimentary cycle: in the sedimentary type of cycle, major reservoir of abiotic nutrient material in the lithosphere, that is soil sediment and sedimentary rocks, etc. It includes soil components like iron, calcium, phosphorus, etc. Importance of biogeochemical cycle: plants required water, CO2, phosphorus, potassium, nitrogen, etc. as nutrient, while animals required carbohydrates, protein, fats, etc. as nutrients. Producer and consumer after their death undergo decomposition and release elements which mix with the soil. The cyclic movement of nutrient is possible through biogeochemical cycle. The cyclic movement of elements like carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, etc. continuously occur on the earth. Eighth question: explain the following with suitable example. First है what type of changes occur in the amount of energy during its transfer from plant to apex consumer. इसका आंसर है green plants of the ecosystem store large amount of energy in the form of carbohydrates and proteins. Before reaching the decomposer, this energy is passed through different trophic level like primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer, etc. The level of energy goes on decreasing while moving through one trophic level to the other because some amount of energy is liberated in the form of heat. The apex consumer receive the least amount of energy. Next question: what are the differences between flow of matter and of energy in an ecosystem? Why? इसका आंसर है flow of matter nutrients in an ecosystem is cyclic. However, flow of energy in an ecosystem is one-way transport. An organism needs matter nutrients for their growth. These nutrients are continuously transferred from abiotic to biotic factors and from biotic to abiotic factors within an ecosystem. Thus, flow of matter nutrients in an ecosystem takes place in a cyclic manner. During flow of energy, no part of it ever return to the sun. Therefore, flow of energy in an ecosystem is considered to be a one way transport. स्टूडेंट, यहाँ हमारा चैप्टर 7 कंप्लीट हो गया है. अगर आपको वीडियो हेल्पफुल लगा हो तो वीडियो को लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर करें. मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो.